Hello, colleagues, students, friends. Welcome to my first webinar about the Myo-Fascia pain treatment. I am David Luján, the founder of ICANN International School of Acupuncture, the author of 9 books, and I don't know how many courses in my life in 10 different countries. In this free webinar, I would like to share with you a method that I have developed for more than 20 years. And if we talk about pure mechanical pain, the results are 100%. In the webinar, first I will talk about what is this pure mechanical pain and the difference between some other emotional interest pain. Then we'll talk about what is fascia itself, the difference between weakness and inflammation, how to locate it, how to treat it, and at the end of the video, I'll show you a demonstration with a real patient how to do the muscle test. In case you want to complete your education and become an expert on myofascia pain treatment, so you can apply in your practice, we have a full course online with a final certification. Quickly, you will get 12 lectures, 12 practical works, and my full participation. You can ask me questions, and at the end, with an exam, you will get the full certificate, send it to you. So feel free to contact us in the link below for the free spots and the days. Yes, done. Let's move to the webinar.
The first question I ask to patients, to myself, when I look at them, if there is a beneficial, a pain with emotional interest or just pure mechanical. So we have to differentiate, right? If we look at this idea of something that it is some emotional interest, I want you to chat with me and to think with me because, first of all, yes, if I have just a pain, for example, here, it's a long pain, you can think of it as just a mechanical pain, right? However, this mechanical pain, it has some emotional interest in the family. Whatever you do here with needles or whatever massage or whatever other technique you are using, if the interest is very emotional inside, that will be only relief and nothing much. Relief and nothing much. We all know these kind of things, right? And then you can get frustrated. So first is to understand that if there's an interest from the patient emotionally to have that pain or not, because if you're going to win or not to win. Honestly, sometimes you tell them too much. For example, you have this pain because it's the interest of your son to call you all the time. Sometimes they even stop coming. So we have to work, even though we know, sometimes we have to work without telling the patient, even though that we know that the pain will not be 100% relief because there is an emotional interest behind. Right? So I wanted you to differentiate or write down here what are the emotional interests that patients usually have to maintain the pain alive. Even though you do a treatment, the pain come back, a relief. Usually when there's emotional interest, you do a nice treatment and they feel amazing, very good improvement. But slowly with time, when they are alone in the room, emotions produce the pain again. And they come back to you next day, very, very nice. But the second day, pain come back again. Some of these patients, honestly, is money making for us because they will never get cured. So they continue coming, and they are willing to pay. And I will talk about it later. They are willing to pay forever because it is an excuse. So one of the let's move into the emotional interest. One of them, I don't know, you want to write down things or whatever. Anyway, everything is recorded, and I will send it to all of you after the recording is finished. Right? So one of the interest is attention. When my pain, you have to think of, I'm telling you, not always ask sharing it with the patient because they can get a little bit, I get caught and suddenly they stop coming. But to think, is there any calling the attention of the loving ones? Very common thing for the people who have mistakes. Right? If this is because of this pain, I have my loving ones calling me, how are you? How are you feeling? And that is, if the pain disappear, I got to this doctor and the pain took away, the doctor taking the pain away from me. Now my phone, it doesn't ring anymore. So that is terrifying. So I want the pain to come back, So they made up the pain. So one of the things is attention from the loving ones. Again, for the people who are joining right now, before we are moving to the pure mechanical pain, we need to understand what is underneath sometimes this pain. So one is the emotional interest of attention from others, right? Then it's also a way to call in affection. It's very similar, but not always, it's not the same. People love me more in my family or my husband, my wife, my kids, they love me more if I'm some kind of pain, And the families, most of you, then they developed this kind of way to communicate it from each other. Communication and affection through your diseases. So if this is a way to communicate emotions, I never tell you I love you, but I'm taking care of your disease, how the disease will go. Even though you do a very nice treatment, if the disease goes away, the expression of loving in the family will disappear, and they get all of them in a panic attack. We don't know how to communicate right now love to each other. So let's come back to mama having pain, of the father having pain. Now is the meeting point. Now we have circulation of the family due to this pain. So is there some kind of a spiral? Is the center, is the core of the whole family affection. Imagine that they come in for elbow pain. How can we do just myofascial treatment, one needle here and there, if that pain is the core of a spiral in the whole family emotionally? So that is also something for you to think when the patient is there. How to really work it out. More people waiting and accepting more people. Another way than it is the pain is an interest, is a beneficial. So they will come to you always like, doctor, I want this pain is terrible, please take it out. But it's not true. They will also have some benefits on this. So we talk about attention from the loving ones, affection, to share affection for the loving one. The other one is a way to control people. Maybe it's not even affection. Maybe it's even you hate me. My son hates me because of this, but it helped me to control him in many ways. If I will fully cure, no pain, no diseases, then the controlling part will be disappear. So this could be even the three reasons to call the attention, to move affection to each other, and even to control, manipulate. It's a way to manipulate people. Pain is also a source of manipulation people. And so, I'm sure you know, most of you, because you get your patients, and sometimes it is like, even though you do amazing treatment, it's important to know because maybe the treatment is the right one. You cannot say, oh, maybe I did something wrong. Could be another muscle, could be another myofascia. I don't understand the system well. Maybe everything you're doing is right. The only thing is that the interest is so strong and so high that you will never get it out. So a relief coming back, relief coming back. At the end, you have to say, okay, it's up to you. If you give me some money, I make my living because it will never be done. If you want to do something deeper into emotional thing, then you have to get the pulse. It's another technique. We're not going to cover this in this webinar. It's another technique. And even though it's so strong, then if you try, the patient will disappear. So you have to understand, rather I do it like for you to have reliefs and we have some kind of connection, or I will lose the patient forever. Sometimes this is the debate inside. You have to be quiet and continue doing your treatment for non-permanent relief, expecting that the situation will come back. I'm not a bad practitioner. I have many students. Some of you are there already. So don't blame yourself because I don't know what I'm doing. When I know what I'm doing, maybe you're doing it right. Could be that you are making mistakes too. Of course, we are always on constant learning. But could be that you're doing things right, but it's something strong there holding this pain. So I continue. It's a form we talk about. It's a form of calling the attention, the affection, of the controlling. Even pain can be a sort of power. It's similar, It gives me power, First, because I'm sick, I am the king or the queen of this family. If I have no diseases, they put me on the down, on the bottom area. So it means nobody will consider me anymore as the king. So that will not be possible to control, manipulate. So the people want to be sick in order to maintain. Recently, I was having a patient just on the phone, one of the ladies in Spain, and her disease was the center of the whole family. So I have a very long, no needles, nothing. I sent it to one of my students in Spain to do needles. Yeah. But the whole thing is that not only you, please sit down with the whole family. I sent a very long audio to them, explaining the whole thing. Why is pain coming to you? You cannot play the games in the family with pain. There are many games. We need games in our family all the time in order to share things that. But if the game it is related with pain, very dangerous, right? Then another emotional interest when the pain can be there to justify it. I can justify it through my pain to others, justify it why I'm weak, or when I'm lazy, why I am a little bit I don't pay attention to things. Because of my pain, because of my pain. So when the people they use the pain, for all kind of justifying, that is something to consider too. So we justify it in front of others, but it's interesting also we justify to ourselves. Maybe I'm fully alone in my room, nobody's around. But because of my pain, I justified why I'm not doing my dreams, when I don't fulfilling my dream, fighting for them, I should be much better in life, I know, because that was my dream a few years ago, but because of my pain, you know. So it started to become a justification. Imagine that patient in the room justifying with himself going to an acupuncturist or going to any other therapist. What will happen? Again, you can relieve, but nothing will come because it's a strong justification why I'm so like this. So what we justified? We justified fear for living. We justified also a complex. Maybe I'm so afraid to play the sports, but because of the pain, I don't going to play the sports. It's a complex. I don't gonna beat anybody. They will beat me up. I will never win, and that is I don't want people to know. If I face the situations playing tennis with somebody and they beat me up, then I rather develop a pain, which is an excuse, a justified not to face life, not to face this contest because of my pain. So again, before we move on into this idea of pure mechanical pain, very rare the patient is have something pure mechanical. Something is behind. Everything I'm talking right now, we have to evaluate also the percentage. If the percentage is very big, you will lose. You will lose this battle against the patient. Maybe the percentage is I justify myself with a small percentage. Then maybe when the pain will be a relief, oh, feeling better. The justification that you were holding for years is starting to be disappearing or slow down until, okay, I don't have no more excuses. So let's do it. And then it's possible to beat your justification because it was a small percentage because the pain has relief. And suddenly the pain cures. It goes away fully. That's another possibility. So we have to justify fears, we justify complex, we just to justify and escaping from, as I told you before, escaping from responsibilities. People are expecting to me, for example, I should be the father in the house, or I should be I always was the son in my family, and everybody was expecting to be so intelligent and so successful. And suddenly I'm not. So I'm escaping from that responsibility that was all over me, from my mother, my father, everybody was expecting me. My son expecting me. I want this. I can't because I have this pain. So again, I justified pain by some need of escaping from our responsibilities or high expectations from society. Slowly with the patients, when you're doing the pain, as soon as they get relief, I show you later how to relieve pain easily. As soon as they get relief, maybe you have to start talking about this with the patient. No, I'm feeling better, doctor. Thanks a lot. My elbow is going fine. So is there any benefit in your family? Now you slowly move into that thing. Again, don't move too fast into this thing because you accuse the patient, it's insulting. Don't insult the patient. I always say this in my courses. If you are doing wrong because you justify you have a lot of fears. This is why. They go, okay, you're very clever, doctor, but I will stop coming. So you don't help anybody like this. And if we really want to help, we need to know something in the back of my mind, but I will not have to, I will never tell you. I will have to move slowly and very intelligent, slowly into many treatments to remove the pain, which is the easiest part, and slowly to remove this other interest why the pain is being held, right? Then the last one, now we talk about some emotional interest and attention or justification. The other one is a mental obsession. Some people you will see, that I'm sure you know, then they even the eyes get very open like this, and they when you're asking about, they can be obsessed with only with this. So imagine that they look at you, they talk to you like this. As soon as the subject is going to my pain, what is your shoulder? They change and they go, my shoulder, and they look at like this with this kind of open eyes, very obsessed with this one, and they have like you're obsessed with your pet. Some people they love the cat and they're obsessed with the cat or the dogs or maybe obsessed with my love or my job. The same thing. They have a lot of stories behind. They have a lot of enjoyable talkings. My shoulder, and they can talk for hours. In the morning, it's like this. Apply a little bit of cream, and it goes like this, and they have a lot of description of what is going on in that thing. This is a patient obsessed with my pain. What is the benefit to be obsessed with the pain? It is our brain, that is another subject and another lecture, but our brain, it is afraid of boredom. We all of us, when we close our eyes or we are alone in the room, how can I guide my mind to something that is benefit or something that is good for me or whatever? Sometimes we don't know, and we get a little bit anxious in my mind, where to go, and the mind is asking for something to calm down, So we all have habits. You think about sports, or you think about emotional, or a book that you have to reading right now. But some people, these people are obsession with pain. For that, thinking about my pain is some kind of way to move my mind into the comfort zone. For so many years, this pain is giving me the possibility to relieve my mental craziness. Our mind is driving one place to another. Now I move it to here, and that is at least it's comfortable. And suffering, it is annoying, whatever they can be annoying, but it is a comfort zone for your mind. So people are obsessed with pain. That's another subject, but auricular therapy with this machine here is helping to reduce the obsession from the brain to a particular area. So we have a map here, and that will go to the elbow. So I use this together with the My-Fascia system that we'll talk about now, and that is helping for the area, however, with the pain, in my mental obsession, sorry. Okay, you have, now this is one block. I wanted to talk about this before, because otherwise we will feel that this treatment is not working or losing knowledge or something like this. Sometimes it is this, So keep it in mind when the patient is coming, what the interest could be, because everybody in different percentage, the interest of pain is there. Maybe only 2%, 3%, Something is pure mechanical interest, could be. Or myself, if you want to get advice, or because I also don't know, is in a subconscious level. Sometimes the interest, usually, is on a subconscious level. Consciously, when you ask the patient, or you ask to yourself, you want this pain? No, I hate it. Please take it out. Consciously, but subconsciously, it is so many interests behind could be there. In order for me to know when I have some pain, and my strategy, if it's helping you, I never tell to anybody. I even pretend or lie when someone is asking, how is your elbow? I always say, hey, it's fine, it's fine. But when it's not, it's still a little bit painful. But I continue, it's fine, it's fine. If I do this practice with everybody, even with myself sometimes, I see it like in silence, or still paining, but I will not take anybody. You're starting to tell people, this is painful for me, it's starting to be useful. And they ask you with a loving, is it the pain that you told me yesterday? Some kind of, it's a showing attention, it's showing loving. I remember you told me that your elbow is paining. It's still paining. It sounds very beautiful communication between two people. Oh, you are taking care of me. So I prefer not to tell anybody. I keep it quiet. And sometimes the pain by itself disappears. I don't even do any treatments on myself. Usually, depends on the case. Maybe 1 week, 2 weeks. Recently in Sri Lanka, I get injured in the gym, lifting like this, quadriceps. And for the first time, I get some small pain in my knee. Oh, then I keep quiet. I noticed, and I have my students around, and I was thinking, so I asked them to put the needles on me. I wait for 3 days, but the pain didn't go. It was just, I think it was pure mechanical. So now we're talking about the pure mechanical pain. One single needle in the weak spot, we'll talk about it now, it moved the pain away. One single needle, I think, was less than a minute. Twitch response, we'll talk about it later, and the pain disappeared until today, right? Very easy because it was pure mechanical pain. And then I didn't use it for any reasons, and any reasons for social life, for social interest, not interest. So trying to, when you have a pain, or you tell the patient, don't use the pain for any potential subconscious interest. Try to maintain the pain pure mechanical, and then I can cure it like this. If it's the tip of the iceberg, or the whole thing in the iceberg, if this is so big, how can I remove pain? It will be quite difficult. See? So let me move to explain what is pain. And if you have any questions, now this is one block, the block of what is behind, or the tip of the iceberg, what is underneath, You should throw some questions on chatting, and later I will be responding. Did you have any questions or contributions or something you want to share with the group? Right now, how many people we are here? I think we're 30 plus, no? 30, exactly 30. You want to share something with somebody? That's okay, welcome. Let's move into what is pure mechanical pain. So now let's forget about the subconsciousness and the mind and everything and emotions, let's go to exactly what it is. If I get a needle, I have a needle here. I don't know if you can see it. And I have my little friend to help you. Can you say hello? Hello? This is our patients, right? If I put a patient a needle right now here, or just a cut with a knife or something, now we have to understand that this cut in my skin, it will run an electrical impulse all the way to my brain. And this is called an efferent, the first afferent line of electrical impulse. So it's one electrical going like this, using the chain of sodium and calcium. That you know that we need to understand this thing. Then when it's coming to the brain, I don't feel the pain yet. The brain has to respond. And then the second line that is coming to the area, that's also electrical impulses. You have to run jumping from the sodium calcium chain. The sodium calcium chain is all over the cells, very important for the membrane. So it's all around here and it's changing calcium sodium up and down. So when there's this one, especially from the outside, the electrical impulse is traveling that way. You know? Then it's from my mind to the area. It's kind of asking, is it for real? Is it pain for real? And then you still don't feel pain. Then is a third line responding, is the second afferent line coming all the way up to my brain. And then is when it's reaching here is the message of pain. So literally the pain is only in my brain. My body doesn't feel any pain. It has to respond to each other. So three lines, one afferent rising up telling the king is the brain, telling I got an injury. Then the second line, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Pain is there. These three lines of feeling the pain. At first place, if I put the needle, if the pain is kind of chronic, we have a connection kind of permanent going all the time for hours and hours going up and down. So this is, you can become obsessed. The maximum obsession, we talked about obsession before, that you have in the area, this connection, the body, like everything in nature, it gets used to things, habit. So you have the habit of listening from here to here, from here to here, the chain of this sodium calcium, right, the chain of electrical impulses is fixed, is very well connected. And now we'll talk about later about the fascia. The fascia is helping to communicate these impulses, right? So the fascia is a traveler. The fascia moves and creates structures. For everybody, our fascia inside is totally different according to your emotions and how you're also dealing with pain. So if I have a chronic pain in my elbow for years, I'm sure I have a fascia line connection that it is helping the electrical impulses to run up and down, up and down, up and down. This is why my needle will help, because if I put any needle on the way, the fascia, which is an architect, it creating some kind of architectural structure. If I interfere in the architectural structure, the pain will be distracted. So even though I put pain, even though anybody, any place in my body, again, with the example, my pain is here, even if I put the pain here or there with the needles, fascia, it is something all over my body. It's an architect all over my body. It will create another composition because the needle is here. That will distract my habit of feeling the chronic pain here all the time. It's like a highway. But if I put the needle any other way, the highway would be a little bit confused. For certain period for time, then the pain is better, even though I put the needle far away. You're amazing acupuncturist because of this. But fascia is fully connected all around the body. It's a network. I think you already know, most of you know what is fascia, but it's a network connecting my whole system, my whole system around, and it is constantly, everybody move to each other. So it's an architect inside, very fast. It can travel very fast, depending on the area, it's faster than others. It has its highways. So it highways a connection, and then the highways also change. I'm telling you the obsession of the chronic pain from one place to another. It is already a highway moving so fast, electrical impulses for me to feel the pain constantly. So this is what is pain. I wanted to talk about what is a painkiller, because science developed a very nice tablet. Most of you are against science, try to avoid tablets and those things. I do it too. I try to do the minimum. Our medicine is the best one we ever have in the world, amazing to admire, or on emergencies. So I agree on emergencies to take it. Sometimes we abuse medicine. This is for sure. Right? But so what a painkiller is doing, when you take a painkiller, the only thing humans will learn how to do is to cut off. So it's inhibitions, eliminations. you take those chemicals. We learn in the lab that this is a chemical connecting with this one. Click, 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 click. I need to find something to interfere. So if I put my hand here, the connection will not come. So this is a chemical. So it's not possible to connect this one. So they are affecting the painkillers, the chain of sodium and calcium. So when the sodium and calcium are getting together to produce the electrical impulse for the highway to connect with my brain, then this chemical in the middle is going, no possible, no possible. So this is a painkiller. It's temporary because the body works out the solution to eliminate this one. For a couple of hours, sometimes, you don't feel the pain. If this is beneficial, it could be, because painkillers are indirect benefits to destroy pain. Why? Because if I have my fascia here, and the fascia is connecting, every time I have some pain, the motion, because of the pain, is starting to be slow or funny, or I go like this, too much protected. So imagine for one day is okay, but if the pain is there for a long time, the way I move myself, and this is fascia, all kind of motion happening for fascia, I will move it in a pathogenic way. I will move it in a silly way because of pain. So the wrong way of moving will will sustain the pain even more. So one of the advice, as I told you before, when I have any kind of pain, not to tell to anybody, not to make it useful in an emotional way for the attention of the people, to justify myself or whatever. This is one of the advice. The other one advice, when you have any pain, trying to move slowly in a more natural way. So I observe this one, natural way, let me do the same. Even though it's painful, force yourself to move in a natural way. If you move like these kind of reactions, that can create and hold the pain for longer. Right? The advice for ourselves, the advice for the patient, the same. Some of them, they feel pain for here, let's say 1 year. When I put my needle in, the pain disappears. But they're still moving like this. Is it painful? No. So what do you move like this? I don't know. It's the habit, it's the fears, So the fears is sometimes difficult to take away, but the pain is easier. I can take out the pain. Now you have to take out the fears. When I take a painkiller, the benefit is that this kind of reactions is not there. The pain is not there. The problem is still the same. The structure is damaged, but the brain doesn't get it. Are you okay? No response. Are you okay? No response. Because of this, you're starting to move nicely. Oh, I don't feel any pain. The emotions, the fascia is starting to create a new architecture inside, the new structure. It's called biotensegrity. The biotensegrity model that is starting to happen because your motion is okay. That is a nice benefit. So painkillers, indirectly, they can help you. You take a painkiller for a week. I advise you not to do it. I never done it in my life. Sometimes I think 1 or 2 in my life, 1 day or 2 days when the pain is too much. But you take a painkiller for a week, you have a 1 week of nice motion. When you stop the treatment, suddenly, oh, this painkiller is magic. It cured me. It did indirectly, not directly to the area. But the area gets well by itself by motion. Good for us to understand what is fascia, because fascia needs to develop a nice structure to do so. Right? I wanted to talk about to you before we move to the fascia itself. What is anti-inflammatory pills? This is nearly 100% to be avoided. So and in certain cases, I'm okay with painkillers, but with anti-inflammatory pills, be careful because sometimes now the mixed painkillers, anti-inflammatory, they come together. Most of them is pure painkillers. It's very hard to find. Most of them are with anti-inflammatory, different percentage. Why anti-inflammatory is a terrible thing? Because any injury, it needs to the fascia. We're talking about the fascia. It will create a space and a protection. Now we know how we run the electrical impulses in fascia. When the fascia, let's say, is something like this, if the fascia is like this, the pain is okay. If I put a needle here, what the fascia will do very fast, closing, increasing density. The denser, this is important for us to understand, the denser the fascia it is the most pain electrical impulses running. So if it's very dense, a lot of pain. If it's normal, pain is okay. If it's very loose, pain can be even gone. And this is one of the tricks, and we will talk about it because we call this weakness. When the muscle is losing connection, quite lost, and you can feel when you touch it, you tell the fascia, superficial fascia, we'll talk about it later like this, and this is very floppy, and you feel like a hollow, When you put the needle inside there in the hollow, this is my needle, and you put it in the hollow, patient reports no pain. So the pain is controlled by the density of fascia. Too much density, normal, and losing density, right? So that is them. So when the inflammation is there, the fascia, you have an injury here, the fascia will increase the volume and increase the density. So it means that all the area surrounding is very sensitive, right? It's a lot of pain. It goes very fast to my brain. But the fascia does it on purpose. So it is on purpose. Inflammation is to help. What is to increase the space? Because the workers are, most of them are collagen cells. They have to come here, the collagen cells, and they're starting to remodeling the area. So it is important of having this cocoon of protection, and this is what the fascia is doing. You take anti-inflammatory pills, the reaction of the fascia is also run by chemicals. Then the chemical again is interfering. So the fascia cannot really increase the great amount as it likes, the great amount of space. So imagine here that the workers, if I reduce the space forcing with a chemical, now the workers here, they are like this, compacted, so they cannot do the job nicely. You know? And this is terrible thing. Good things for some hospitals, because that can create a chronic structure. So that chronic pain, a difficult area to help in the future. When the patient has a chronic, the fascia in the area, because of anti-inflammatory pills, is a little bit broken, not so efficient, and not so okay. So that's a chronic pain due to too much anti-inflammatory pills that you have taken, and sometimes you don't know, but it is included in painkillers. When you take just painkillers, but it's something anti-inflammatory there. It's a good business because chronic patients are the money for doctors, right? So you take anti-inflammatory pills, and then you feel a relief, and you think, short time thinking, this is helping me a lot, but in the long run, you will be addicted or chronic into that particular pain. So the anti-inflammatory pills, for me, it should be thrown into the river. I'm sorry for the fish, because those are useless only for money making. Yeah? It's proved by science that turmeric is a natural anti-inflammatory. Let's make a difference between an imposition, a chemical that is cutting. They study like this. So when it comes here, I force the fascia not to inflame by force. Like this is war, attacking, bombing. And the other one, when you take natural anti-inflammatory, the most powerful one is turmeric. This is a proposition. Imposition, proposition. And I'm proposing the body to disinflate the fascia with the turmeric all around. Is that will you break the anti-inflammation? And I say no, because it's quite useful right now. I need it. But if you continue taking, I will reduce it to the minimum, and I will force myself to go down. By proposition. So kindly, will you, is it okay for you? No, I'm busy, I'm working. Sorry, it's not my time right now. Okay, then don't do it. One is imposition, the other one is proposition. So, but it's working nearly in the same amount of power. It's proved by science that anti-inflammatory and turmeric is nearly the same thing in efficiency. So forget about this one and take only turmeric in the certain amount. That the inflammation will reduce, but the workers continue doing the job. So this is the two things. Now we understand pain in electrical impulses, and we have the painkillers. In extreme cases, is even needed because otherwise you get so much like, right. And then you can get crazy in your mind when it's too much. And the anti-inflammatory that needs to be avoided nearly 100% of the times. I cannot think of any. Of course, when you get a surgery, things like this, that is okay. So now we close this block. Second block. Again, if you have any questions about this, later I will reply it. You can put it on the chat. Yeah? Because now I want to move on. What is fascia itself? I would like to give you some demonstration later, and I would like to give you how to work, especially with acupuncture, even though you can do with massage. When we understand the theory, then you can have many tools or even ideas on top of the theory. So first is understanding, and then ideas will come to you, how I do this and that, but understanding. So yeah, what is fascia? I'm sure most of you around there, you already know, because you're practitioners, you're doctors. I have some doctors here also today. Some of them you have taken the course with me. But anyway, fascia, I said before, that is a network all around me. with no starting or ending. Muscles, we will have to learn anatomy later on. The muscle is starting here, finish there. We can calculate the starting and the ending. But in the fascia, is no way. It's everywhere around. The job of the fascia, one physiotherapist long ago, he took his time and to take away what is a muscle and what is fascia. So he put fascia on this side and muscle in the other side. Muscle are just a piece of, it's like a tiny piece of rice. So it's a line like this, very small, and all together it's like sand in your hands. You can do like this with muscles and fibers, right? Muscles is all together. Then what is holding the muscles in order even to be intelligent and to move and to work is the fascia. So fascia is a revolution. We knew fascia a long time ago, but right now we understand much more about fascia. But fascia is a revolution because it's the whole thing. Fascia is an organ. Why? Because it's intelligent, it takes its own decisions, and it's part of the automatic nerve system. It's controlling you in automatic way. You can even control, of course, because I can move my hands, and this is because of fascia. I move my fascia with my mind, and I move my fascia in automatic way. So two things, basically, I can move like this, my lungs, I can breathe in, breathe out, and I can control my motion. So fascia, it is an organ similar to the lung in this way, able to do the automatic or the consciousness controlling. This is fascia. So another important thing for fascia that we have to learn also in the course, it is that fascia, it is because it's all around, is controlling structures so long. For me to move my arm right now here, even the fascia from my, usually is crossing from my, this is my right, from my left leg is also moving in order to help this action. I cannot sustain my arm like this if my leg is not supporting too. That would be probably impossible. If I have my leg to cut off, I will have to find another way to maintain my arm like this. So we have to understand that fascia, even though it's moving one muscle or the other, is helping everybody all the time, like a unique organ. So this is the important thing to keep in mind, that it's a unique organ. That I keep on telling to all my students, and I don't know why they keep on asking, because the patient so fascinated, they will point it with my finger where my pain is. Here, doctor, here. Like they find out something amazing. Don't confuse with the radiation of pain. It is not even an indication sometimes. We can get lost. Fascia, it is, if I have some weakness in this area or even inflammation here, inflammation usually it is located, located in the area. I put my finger, oh, it's in the area. But weakness, because it's very complex, it can radiate the pain in here. But this is just a reflection. It's a radiation. We don't really care. Sometimes it's not even telling us anything. So, Kate, forget about where the pain moves. At least it's an inflammation. So now we can differentiate into these two things. Inflammation, we talk about a late inflammation where the fascia goes like this and become dense. So it's asking, don't touch it, don't interfere. We have some job going on inside. This is inflammation. Inflammation usually radiates the pain in a local area, and when you touch it, oh, it's there. But sometimes you touch an area that is not even inflamed, but every time the doctor you ask me to do this action, muscle test, I get the pain here, yeah, and they want a needle there. They want a needle there. So kind of like acupuncture beginners, they will go and put the needle right where the pain goes. In Chinese, called ashi points. Ashi points here, doctor, there that you put in here, and immediately it will be a relief. So for the first time, it sounds like, oh, it's working. I put it. Thank you, doctor. Much better, much better. But that is like touching the reflection of a mirror. Imagine that a mirror reflects here, and then you just break the window, the mirror, and then but the bad guy is still there. You just only just broken the mirror. Nothing to you get the fear away because the bad guy is not there. So don't run to where the pain is reflecting when we do the muscle test. Even sometimes the patient is moving like this. Oh, I get here, again, here. If it's constantly there, the pain is constantly. Most likely it's an inflammation. But how to work with inflammation or weakness? So now we have to differentiate that the fascia is connected. And usually 90% of my connection, because we are walkers, we humans are for walking, right? But 90% of the forces are crossing forces. So when my left leg is moving, the forces is crossing to my right. Then I move my other leg, and then it's crossing to here. So basically, every time I walk, the forces are coming like this. We have a few muscles, especially the boss of this muscle is called rhomboid. Rhomboid in my back like this. One of the jobs of rhomboid is distributing the forces in a way that I can even run, and this is still stable. I don't have to move like this, because I'm running. So the job of the fascia is to crossing forces to maximize, to minimize the amount of energy. So the fascia, what it's trying to do for us is to waste minimum amount of energy for maximum efficiency. This is what everybody wants, This is about money, money, how to maximize money. I want this amount of investment for this amount of profits, So the fascia is doing something the same, trying to move me in such a way that is efficiency and less amount of energy moving. Another important thing for fascia, it creates memories. We talk about it, how is the memory for my obsession with pain, It's a highway of fascia running electrical impulses. If I starting to get a new job and I have to clean the windows like this, the first day of my job, I get tired very fast and very easy. Oof, oof, and then I have to rest and continue. Oof, I have to rest. The fascia is trying to find out the amount of timing that I dedicated, the amount of effort, energy levels, the amount of electrical impulses, chemicals, so calculations, so complex, how I have to do this job. The second day, I can feel it a bit better. And then after a week or so doing this one, I can run faster, with more efficient and longer in time. It means the fascia is learning. It's learning how to produce a certain amount of motions for this amount of hours and for this amount of impulses, electrical impulses, and waste of calories, a waste of many other chemicals, nutrients, everything. This is the job of the fascia, learning. So the maximum repetition you do, more easy goes, and it can go very fast. Imagine a football player, and then the ball is coming in a second. Reaction is very beautiful and very fast. Of course, you have to train before for years and years until this reaction is coming. But the fascia is able to coordinate this action so fast, biotensegrity is called, so fast. If you have some habits previously, you learn before, Otherwise, if you never play football in your life and the ball is coming to you, you will look very clumsy with no efficiency. And you do it 3 times, you will get tired. Some sport people, they play football, they can do it for 3 hours. You put the same guy into tennis, and he can get tired in 20 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah, even though I'm a sport person, yeah, but your sport fascia motion so fast is able to coordinate this sequence of motions in a particular way. So fascia is a memory. Fascia learns how to do things, right? So another important thing of fascia is his amazing capacity to share. Maybe it does it by waves, sending waves. It's synchronizing. It does synchronizing inside my body. We haven't seen on the microscope any chemicals. It's too fast. I'm telling you that when you play sport, the ball is coming, kicking. It's not possible to run, not even with electrical impulses. Chemicals traveling from this shoulder to another shoulder, it will take even a minute. It will take so slow until I really can connect it. So that is not possible. It is happening, of course, but it is too slow. Some other thing, especially when I repetition. Then I go to sleep, and chemicals are starting to work, getting ready for tomorrow efficiency. But in the action of right now, even electrical impulse traveling from here to here is not possible. It will go to the brain and coming down. It's still slow. So we don't see, but we believe in these waves. And in Chinese medicine, it's called qi. For those of you who run acupuncture, qi is moving to one place to another, synchronizing. It's synchronizing. So fascia is an organ, an expert, and a magic in synchronicity. It synchronizes very well inside your body. And the other thing is able to synchronize outside your body with other humans. Now you see me moving, even you are in the other side, but your brain translates my emotions. I'm moving like this, and you get copycats, and you are healthy or not. Imagine if I go to a stupid motion like this, you're observing me for half an hour like this, and you will copycat to me, and you will have pain in my neck. So we, by the translation of our brain senses, observing others, the fascia copycat each other. So synchronicity inside, synchronicity outside. That's important. I would tell in my courses how you move in the clinic. If you move in such a nice way, and you're a person with balance, this is what Tai Chi and those things, a sporty person, you can control fascia much better because fascia will copycat you. If you are not very sporty, full of pain here and go over there, maybe patients are not working. So we are forced to be perfect, which is difficult. Balance people, sportive if possible, because the copycat of the fascia is easy. Fascia will always synchronize with somebody near you, and even somebody not near you, like you're around the other side. Even maybe you are watching this in recording, but still, if I do like this, your fascia will copy me the actions I'm doing. So it has this capacity. So it is in synchronicity, it is a doctor, it is creating always to save energies, certain biotensegrity, you know. So now let's move on to examples, right? Weakness and inflammation. So I told you before that fascia, it is usually like this, depends on the area. So you're starting to work on exercise that will increase also the tension, the power. No? If you are lazy, it goes down. Now, the magic trick that I want to share with you for good results, it is always focus on weakness. How to locate weakness on fascia. When you locate weakness, one single lead on weakness, it can give you a lot of results. Weakness has the capacity to do big area results. You treat inflammation alone, and this inflammation here with electro, blah, 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 a lot of needles, is a relief in the area alone, and usually is a relief during the treatment, but most likely it will come back or even an aggravation after. So working with inflammation, if we talk about even massage or even needling, is usually a mistake. I give you before 5 usual mistakes. One of them is address inflammation. Sometimes we do it, but this is the last thing to do. When you are getting lost on when you treat so many weakness, then you can't address inflammation. But trying to avoid at first place to treat inflammation. It will give you very small results. Only relief is a huge difference when you treat weakness. So the difference, it is like inflammation is like this, and is a strategy of the body to do something. But weakness, when it's solved, is not a strategy of the body. It's a mispower, misinterpretation of the body, or some kind of mistake. Imagine now that you're an architect. We're going to be architects with a needling, and somebody hired you to go to a building because the building is weak. It's even shaking sometimes. The building is gonna fall. So you have to investigate. What would you investigate? You go all around the building, investigate what is the weak spots in the building in order to put a new pipe or more cement. So this is the same job that we do. We have to check the whole body, and for this, the only way to do is a muscle test. I'll show you later a couple of exercises for muscle tests in order to know where is the weak spot in this building. So the first thing is to investigate properly where is this weakness. As soon as we catch it, then results are amazing. We put the needle inside weakness. Yet how weakness can be created? There are many ways. But if you go to the gym, for example, if I do pumping my biceps, then the muscle, it is working, right? Working. Imagine that I overwork. That's one of the possibilities of weakness. Overworking too much, forcing. And then even sport people, and they go every day to the gym, the fascia will learn how to do it. But one day I do it too much. And then one of the areas, or one of the fascias gets like tearing because of overworking. So another important thing to consider is when a muscle is working, this is the whole muscle, let's say the biceps is here, the motor area, the powerful area starting to run the force, it changes. So it's very easy for here, if I pick up some weight and I get the weight, moving the weight up, the motor area is moving this way, moving up and down, right? This is the motor area of biceps. So it's not always in the same place. But we have a certain location, if the muscle is like this, the center point, I always tell this is the government. If you want to win the war, attack the government. So we want to attack at the center, right? But the center of the motor area, it moves according with my exercises. Again, if I'm going to the gym and forcing too much, the motor area maybe will develop strength. But on the other side of the motor area, I can get one of those weakness. So sometimes the muscle, if you touch the muscle, is very strong, developed. In the middle, usually it's on the corners. if I'm talking about sporty people, in the middle of this motor area, maybe on the corner, could be even in the center, you get this hollow, and this is weakness. The hollow, it is a weakness. How to catch it? How to identify it? We will do three main things for identified weakness. First, muscle test. I show you. We don't have time to do the whole muscle test, but I show you some demonstration. But later you will have it in the course. You won't. But muscle test is the way to just tell the patient that give me the mechanical force in the biceps. Very simple. And lift it up. So now I'm checking biceps brachialis. When it's called like this, is the name biceps brachialis. Of course, as I told you before, the whole fascia is connected. So it's not only working the biceps brachialis, it's working the whole body. But we want to, with the muscle test, very specific, we want to minimize the amount of other muscles participation. So you tell the patient, try not to move anything, get lifted up like this. If it's a weakness in the muscle, now we have the whole muscle so big, and everybody's powerful. But one small is a spot. Sometimes two or three. 2 or 3 spots are weak. If this is the case, the exercise, it will be, in comparison with the other one, a bit weak. The muscle cannot complete a full power because 1 or 2 spots are weak. Even though everybody else is amazing, but 1 or 2 spots are not weak. Then you can check out that the power, when I do this one, and we do the other one, this is a bit weaker. Always important to be agree with the patient. This is my perception. It's sometimes very difficult because I don't know the difference, But the patient, you share with the patient. You think this is weaker? Let me check out again. Sometimes you need to check out 2 or 3 times. Yes, I think so. Sometimes it's very easy to get. It's very weak, or sometimes it is not so easy to get, especially in sport people. So the first thing is muscle tests, and then weakness in comparison, right or left. Everybody is different. Maybe this is very weak, and this is very weak too. This is the way you are. You miss the gym, you miss the exercise, but I cannot tell that this is weakness here because both of them are similar. Another thing to keep in mind is the difference of right-handed, left-handed. So if it is in my right-handed, I'm expecting to have more power here than here. So then it's normal. Oh, this is very weak. It's weak. It's not weak. It's my left. So that's another thing to consider on patients. Asking, are you right-handed, left-handed? So that's one way to identify weakness. If it's weak, the mechanical action is weak. Another way, imagine that this is a building again, and the building, it is with weak spots. So it's shaking. The building is not so stable. If an earthquake is coming, it's the one who's shaking more in the neighborhoods. So when you are doing the mechanical force, you see them shaking in the action. The muscle is shaking. And this means also weakness. Fascia, as I told you before, is always trying to find the architecture that is saving me time and the best for everything. Man. So in this case, is an architect searching for a solution, but unable to find a solution 100%. He's able to do it because you can move, right? But he's unable to find a solution. This is why he's shaking. Here, no, here. So the fascia searching for solutions is a fascia that is shaking. So it's an indication of some weak spots are in the area. So now we know that weakness in comparison right or left, and the other one is shaking. Right? And so the third one, shaking, asking for helpers. We all, as human, we have some difficulties in life. We become more, please, will you help me? Please, will you help me? So it means that if I do the whole fascia is connected again, if I do a clean motion, then it's no helpers. Now you ask me to put a force here, but however I go like this, I can give you 10 kilos, or I can give you 10 kilos. The same amount of effort, the same amount of power, however, with a lot of helpers. That's an indication of weakness too. So again, weak by itself, or shaking, trembling, or using helpers. So right, that will tell me that there is some weakness in the spot. Sometimes again, don't get confused. When you are doing the muscle test, you will see some radiation reflection of pain here, there, in my leg. The patient like to report it, and they're so fascinated. Here. That is an amazing information for us. Usually, it's not. So we say, okay, thank you for telling me, but I cannot get confused. If I'm checking out biceps, I'm checking out biceps. Doesn't matter if the pain goes in my legs. This is the indication of this. So some weakness, usually very normal, radiate pain far away. Usually it's a connected area, not crazy area. It's a connected area, but it's still far away. Inflammation, it doesn't. Inflammation, it is right here. I don't feel any pain or radiation anywhere. So another way to identify weakness is when you're doing muscle tense and the pain comes in another radiated area. So that's another indication of weakness. It will be the inflammation, it will not happen. So do muscle test, here. Okay, forget about this one. It's telling me that your biceps has some weakness. So I told you 3 ways of doing it. Muscle test, we have to specialize on this. For this, we need to know all the go through the anatomical, not everything, anatomy is too big, but only the mechanical, powerful areas, muscles. Only this muscle is enough. There are many, but not so many. So the first to check out, I'll show you the muscle test completely in the course. Here I'll do my best. And then another way to identify it, it is palpation, touching, using my finger. Now, the fascia, the structure, first I have the skin. On top of the skin, I have lines, we call it ligaments, lines attached to another layer here. And this is the superficial fascia. Very important and very intelligent. I think it's the most intelligent as an organ, the superficial fascia itself. And then after this, more lines, more ligaments, still fascia, attached to the skin, attached to another layer. And this is the layer recovering the whole organ. This is epifascia. Anyway, the epifascia, and then internally we have endofascia, dermofascia, and the myofascia, which is a tiny one holding the fibers, holding the muscle, right? So when I want to touch, the interesting thing is that one of the jobs of the superficial fascia is to recollect everybody's news. So imagine I have here one muscle, second layer, and the third layer. The third layer of this muscle is weak. And then when I do the muscle test, I can see, it's some kind of weakness. For example, this I'm talking about supraspinalis. Supraspinalis is lifting like this. The supraspinalis is this deep inside, because first I have the trapezius. So the supraspinalis is very deep inside. But even though I report some kind of weakness, the pain radiates here on my shoulder or even to my elbow, but I'm testing the supraspinalis. So it is possible, very bad example, but anyway, is it possible with my finger to identify weakness in a third layer muscle? Sometimes it's possible because the superficial fascia register all this information. It's like people complain to the boss. I complain to my superficial fascia. So if my third layer fascia is weak, I will report some message to the superficial fascia. It means touching like this slowly, I can feel it. It doesn't mean that the superficial fascia is weak in that spot. It's some kind of tunnel connecting from the superficial fascia, connecting all the way to the other muscle, which is the real one, weak. So this is how we're going to put the needle in the superficial fascia. Sometimes very tiny needle on the superficial fascia can treat a muscle that is 3 layers down. Because when you are attached, when you touch the superficial fascia, the message through the tunnel is radiating and compensating the other one. I do this sometimes with a small needle, then you get the electrical impulse, and then a benefit is there. So most of the time, because I want a better results, I go with the needle deeper inside until I touch the muscle. By the muscle test, I knew that this is the muscle that is going to be the one giving me results. So in this case, supraspinalis, so I need a longer needle to go to. But it's possible to do, and I did it sometimes, the benefit just touching the superficial muscle, superficial fascia. Only that is possible. Better to go deeper inside so you get an extra benefit. But some people are very scared or maybe not possible or whatever, then you want to do it only in the superficial fascia. You will find results too. As long as you treat weakness, right? Treating the weakness spot. So now the first one is muscle test. Second is palpation. Palpation only superficial fascia. Don't put the finger too deep inside trying to get because that will create a confusion. You compress the whole fascia, compress the whole muscle, and that is confusion. Only very soft touch in order to feel first the tensegrity the structure of the fascia, everybody's different. So you feel it like this, and then, okay, this is average, it's normal. Now let's see if I can feel any hollow, any something that is flowing, you know. Don't confuse on the joint of muscle. Muscles, they come together like this, and the joint of muscle is also flowing. So if I get here and I touch, for example, the joint with this one, of course, this is softer than this one. If we focus on the mechanical area, mechanical muscle, and from here I have to feel and touch, only in the area, not on the sides. If I see any spot that is weak, I will put my needle inside. So the third way of testing, if I'm right or not, first, remember, was the muscle test. And I will move on this. And then palpation, touching like this softly. When you feel some hollow, then we put the needle. The needle, it is both things. It's also diagnosis. It will tell me if I'm right or wrong in the weakness. And it's also a treatment. Why is a diagnosis? Again, if the fascia is very floppy, if I put a needle in the fascia itself in the floppy area, usually the pain is painless. The patient look at you, you're a great acupuncturist because I feel nothing. You know, they evaluate us by the way we punch sometimes, which it doesn't make sense. But anyway, so when you put the needle in an area that it is weak, suddenly the pain is not there. So the patient, any pain? No. That is a great starting point, indicating us that we're in the right area. Weakness spot. Then I left the fascia to start moving to the needle, and the fascia will start to dance, searching again for the myofascia structure, right? The best efficient for economy and for everything. So when the needle's inside there, for the moment, no pain, the skin, no pain. Then after even 1, 2, 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, I touch the needle again, and I started to dance with the needle, dancing with the needle in the spot. And I think, I'm not sure yet 100%, but I think this is weakness. If you can make a mistake, no problem. Take out the needle and try again. I think this is the weakness. So I will touch after 3 seconds, the needle is inside, waiting for the fascia to start to go to the needle. Then I started to move the needle up and down, right and left, rotation, right and left, up and down, changing the angle. So they want to do like this, I want to do like that inside, changing the angle, right? This and that. Nicely. And still the patient, if it's a real weak spot, still the patient, no pain. They go with this face, checking out, very alert in the area. So they're connecting the mind with the area, and they don't feel anything. They don't feel anything. What is going on inside? When you're starting to break the fibers inside, you create a small wound, is an injury, fascia will travel to the needle, slowly traveling, increasing the density. You remember from before, maximum density in the fascia, more chances than electrical impulses are running fast. So when the density is starting to increase, because I'm moving my needle like this, more and more density, when the density reaches a certain amount of level, then is when you get what is called the twitch response. It's electrical impulse, automatic. You cannot control it. It could be locally, just a small muscle move like this inside, or globally, the whole body goes like that. Even the patient gets scared, even they shout or whatever. This is telling us that yes, it was a good diagnosis. It was a weak spot. So the helping effort to be sure that the diagnosis was correct by palpation, by exercise. Put the needle. The twitch response is telling me yes. Why? Because if it's a healthy spot, well, then the fascia, it is very efficient in terms of economy, in terms of efficiency. When you put the needle inside and you're dancing slowly, by the way, not to go like this. When you're dancing with the fascia slowly, no electrical impulses, nothing. Maybe slightly pain, of course, but you after some time, yes, I feel the needle, slightly pain, but not too much. Then it is a healthy spot. It was not a weakness. So then you have to just continue searching until you find the weakness. If you're in the weakness, remember first, no pain. Second, when you start moving, still no pain until the fascia gets density, and then you get the electrical impulse reaction. This twitch response, we call it like this, or twist, is twisting and is twitching. This twitch response, it is a treatment by itself because it is calling everybody in the fascia, my whole body, is a message, and it's a global message. Somebody's on the breaking news. I need help. So that then the whole fascia will pay attention to this area now. So from the weak spot, that nobody listen to you, to the spotlight on TV, and everybody is like, so electrical impulse, it is diagnosis, but it's also an amazing treatment. An amazing treatment because now the weak spots, remember the architect going to the building and fixing everything then. So you identified where is the weakness, and then you put a new pipe or a new cement construction. The same thing for us. When we get the electrical impulse, automatic twitching response that you cannot control, it happens. That is remodeling in that particular area that it was weak. Now is the spotlight. You are the strongest in the country because you're on breaking news. Celebrity, you become a celebrity. And this is very good. When it happens, you have to just allow the emotions of the patient. Some of them, after this, usually sometimes it's not even pain. They get scared because it's an automatic response. Sometimes it comes along with pain too. So automatic impulse and the pain. And they usually get emotionally scared. That is uncomfortable, but it is also why the fascia, by the way, the fascia is run by the liver. The liver is controlling fascia all around, and the liver is the producer of emotions. So emotions and fascia, they come along together. So that as soon as you get this twist response, you have to, we like to do it 3 times. But you allow the patient to relax, not the fascia, but relax the emotions. Keep an eye on the patient, how the patient is breathing after the shocking, the impact. When you see the patient again relax, with permission of the patient, are you all right? You put your hand softly on the patient. I'll do it again. Okay? And they give you permission. Yes, okay. Superficial fascia is also very emotional. If you don't get the permission of the patient, that can create even a damage. Not a strong damage, but some damage. So the patient is like on panic attack. No, no, no. Then you cannot continue with the treatment. You have to take it out. Only with the permission. Sometimes you have to convince. This is good for you. We'll do it another time. The pain will go. Don't worry. But they still can't. I can't. Then you take it out. But usually they say, okay, are you okay? Then again, touching the knee very softly, dancing very softly on the weak spot, and then moving in and out, slowly changing the angle, remember, and rotation, in and out. If you rotate in the same direction, the fascia will get stagnated. And only one spot, maybe the fascia gets used to. I want to break the maximum angles as possible. And then again, another one. Then the same thing. I get away, the patient will spread wherever you want, spreading out, shouting, moving, scary. Okay, take your time. So some people, they find it even funny. It was funny, so you can do it very fast again. But the patient emotion are to be respected. So let's wait. Now, third time, and then with the third time is enough. Don't need to do 5 times or 20 times because that the fascia can get confused also. 3 times is enough. Sometimes, honestly, 1 is enough. But we want to increase the power of this spotlight of the area. Then you move the needle out, and it's very impressive to see on the muscle test. The only way to evaluate is muscle test again. Don't go on touching the area. That's an advice for the patient. Don't touch the area. Now the fascia is still working, still remodeling the area. So it will take hours. When you fall asleep, the remodeling of the area after the impact will continue. So the fascia will continue remodeling for hours or even 1 day or 2, depends on the area. Don't touch it, don't confuse it. Of course, don't take any pills, don't confuse in any way. But it's so fast, and it is the whole body, the whole nation. It is so alert on this one that the muscle test, immediately after the needle, you take it out, you can tell it, let me check out again, then give me power, and then you will see the 3 things that they were before improve. More power, very fast, you can see more power. The pain will see. Usually the pain, radiating pain, or the local pain is also gone. But more power, no shaking much, or no shaking at all. And the other thing, remember, is no helpers. So I can do it now, not like this. I can do it at 10 kilos, very clean motions. So that is, you can prove patients result very fast. Remember, working on weakness is very fast improvement globally, because it's not only just the area. I improve in our whole body, and it's long lasting. These are 3 benefits. Yes, global improvements, lasting improvements, and quickly, fast. It's very nice to see. A bit uncomfortable because and it's time taking for us because we have to do the whole muscle test. Let's move now to the muscle test. I'll show you some videos for the starting point of the muscle test. And on muscle test, we starting with the patient. important to keep in mind that we are walkers, walking, right? Because we are walkers, our whole mechanical structure, fascia, it is running for us to walk. So it means the power comes from my feet all the way up. So the muscle test should be done and should be treated from down up. If the pain is in my neck, I have to go from my legs. Most likely, and very common, is impressive and people, they love it. I can help you and cure 100% your neck, only touching your leg. One single lead in the leg, remember that weakness is globally. So then I have the pain in my neck. Then I do muscle test. Let's forget for a moment about your neck. Show me the muscle, show me your leg. And then I find out that maybe one of the legs, I have this guy here, muscle test lifting up. This is in comparison with this one, very weak. So then I'm going to put a needle right in the muscles right here. And then I get to respond 3 times, but 3 times. Then I'm going to remove the needle. I can demonstrate to the patient, can you lift it up again? Oh, it's much better, or even sometimes the pain fully gone in one single treatment. Or now, every time I treat any weakness, any muscle in my body, one single muscle with one single needle, I have to check out the whole body again. Because it could be sometimes happen even the other knee. Imagine this knee pain. I treat only one knee. And the knee is, oh, better. Let me check the other one. This is better too. Oh, because it's globally affected, you know. So I can tell the patient, now your leg is better. Can you check out your neck? Do something that usually you do to check out your neck or the muscle test with neck. And sometimes it's like, it's gone. It sounds like magic. And magic, by the way, is the word if you want to get more information on this Telegram. You have the Telegram, all of you. You type magic. If you put magic, you will receive more information about this. No better later I will remind you, but not to forget. Magic, the same thing that here. So sometimes you put the needles and then it's very nice. Not only your leg is nice, it could be globally. Let's say that this is it's magic here. And in Telegram you put magic. And then is it the neck? It's still there. It's possible also. It's still there. Okay, weakness is not only one. It could be weakness in many other areas. But the starting point for us to minimize the amount of work, it is always from down up, from my legs up. Maybe it's also weakness here, and weakness here, weakness there. But if I do it starting from here, not the legs, the weakness will help too. But I have much more work to do. So sometimes starting from the legs up, I minimize many other areas to be working on. So legs is the most important thing for us. So let me show you now because time is getting short. I'm going to show you now the muscle test. I'm going to put a video right now for you because I did a recording a video for this occasion. Let me see if I can do it. I have to just take out this first. I don't know, you can see me there right now. This is muscle test. Let me do I started because time is short. I promised to do everything in the course, but now I'm going to do the most clear muscles. Now it's opening. I think it should be there. Is it okay? It's not there. Then I have to start sharing this one. And then I have to do it again. I think it's coming now. Yes. So let me just start all over the video, and then just give you a few examples. And the most important things are the legs, So in this demonstration, I'm going to show you the soleus muscle. The soleus muscle, I click here, will come the names too. Soleus, you see? Soleus muscle there. I will send these videos to all of you. When you finish, I will send you all the videos. And it's also, of course, in the course with a proper explanation. Now I have to do it quite a bit fast. But anyway, soleus, all of them, it is, they have what I call a seam or a mistake, then they get damaged. The soleus is is the boss in this area. The down legs is the boss. We have a couple of muscles there, but this is the most important muscle. And I call it garbage collector because all the tension in the down area, including my knees and sometimes even my hips, when you have tension, we have the mother collecting the tension for all the kids, And soleus is the collector of this tension. So then the soul is a little bit painful, it's okay. It means that it's working, it's doing his job. Most of us, if we touch right now by soleus, it will be tension. tension if the tension is equally in the right and in the left, when I'm doing palpation, touching, then means the solio is fine. Yeah. So in this video, I show you, I put the patient in this lie down position, and this is muscle test for the solio. I told you that we do first muscle test, then palpation, and then the kneeling. When the muscles, another thing to consider, when the muscles are very strong, in the legs we have very strong muscles, as too strong, we cannot do the demonstration so much. You have to do run to palpation. Because even I put, it's lifting like this, the legs. I'll show you now. You can put two people on top of me, and I can still lifting, with my solio. It's so powerful, and it's very hard to do any muscle test like this. So for solio, we do palpation. I'll show you here. This is pushing the leg like this and showing the video. That will be like lifting on my shoulder, three people up, right? So that will be the muscle test. But we don't consider this so much in this case. Then we move to this I'm showing you. This is the soleus around there. All this area, 2 fingers away. Not two fingers away from the bone. This is when I put my fingers and touch. Touching solio. In my end and solio, it is very common because a collector, muscle tension collector, garbage collector, I call it. It is inflamed. Very common is inflamed. Right? When you press an inflammation area, now we have an inflammation area. Some areas that are normal, and in every inflammation area, around 3 centimeters to 5 centimeters around the inflammation area, we will find a weak spot. In case of the solio, when you press, the patient will tell you, and you feel the hardness too. This is the maximum amount of hardness is here. Yes. Move around on the solio, usually is a line, moving around in the solio, until you can get some area that is, when you press, is softer, and the patient, it is not so painful. No, much less. And here, a lot, much less. Where the needle will go to the area that is much less. Again, working with, even in the garbage collectors, working with weakness. You put the needle not in the most painful spot, but you put the needle 3 to 5 centimeters away from the spot. When you press with your finger, it is not giving you painful. And then you put the needle inside. Sometimes the solio is different than other muscles, so painful. And when you do like this, it is so intense that you cannot continue. Yeah? Very common, especially in garbage collector muscles. We have a couple in my body, few of them, I think more than 4 or 5. And then is good electricity. Even massage is very good. If you massage this band, the garbage will disappear, and then they can collect more garbage. Only when it's too much inflamed, in my garbage collector, I cannot continue collecting tension. What will happen if you're overwhelmed with tension? The tension will go to other muscles. And then when starting to get pain in my legs, in my knee, could be my knee is giving radiating pain because the solio is full of, it cannot take anymore. So every time I walk, I collect tension, but I cannot, the collector is not working. So good massage, good electricity with the needles, or even working with weakness, release the garbage collector, and then I can continue taking. So that after walking for a few hours, the knee pain disappear because garbage collector was overwhelmed. It's taking it too much. Let me show you for more demonstration. This is another muscle. The second boss. I'm moving fast because of timing, but the second boss, the boss in the lower legs is the solio. We have more muscles in that area, like anterior tibialis, fibularis longus, very important also for treatments. The hallucis extension, hallucis flexor, everything will be in the videos. Right? But if we move to the upper legs, now we have the quadriceps. Most of you anatomy. Quadriceps. The other one, it is the hamstrings, adaptors. So we have different groups, 3 main groups in my upper area. I'll show you in this video. You can read there rectus femoralis. Rectus femoralis is the boss of this upper area, and one of the bosses of the whole body. Why the whole body? Because again, legs are more important. The mechanical power is coming from legs all the way up, even to my neck or even to my shoulder. Everything, my elbow, everything is coming from the legs up, right? Keeping in mind always. So the investigation, whatever pain you bring into me, mechanical pain, I will always start from the legs up. The body is so complex, fascia is so connected, it's a synchronizing, then it's difficult to guess. Sometimes when you get some experience, the pain here, I'm guessing, usually crossing into this leg. Sometimes the guessing is wrong. So I have to complete the whole muscle test. Don't be lazy. Laziness, it is one of the killers for all the results in life, right? So, okay, I guess, but even though, let me do the whole complete muscle test. I'll give it to you in the course, the whole muscle test completely. Now, I'll give you another demonstration, rectus femoralis. I'm indicating with my hand like this, where it is starting and where it is finishing. It doesn't go all the way to the knee as a form of muscle. This is attached. You know, when it comes to attach into the bone, in this case the hips, it goes into fascia. Fascia is holding, and this is called ligament. But it's a fascia too. And then when it comes to the knee, when it comes to the knee, also it's quite long. Actually, fascia line holding the knee. Most of the knee the knee area, is only fascia. Don't put needles in the knee. Don't put needles in the ligaments. Ligaments are a piece of rope, very stupid. Work with intelligence, wait intelligent in the government, in the center of the center of the muscle. The muscle power is coming from here. And this is muscle too and ligament. Forget about the ligament. You put needles on the ligament, you can get relief, but nothing will work very well. So if I play the video, I show you another example how to do the muscle test. Again, remember, every time you do muscle test, all the body is working. But we have to minimize the amount of effort of all the muscle, maximize the effort of the muscle that we are treating right now. So I'll play the video for you now, and this is indication right now with my fingers. Where is it? The government area is around there. So I tell the patient, I put my hand there, you see? So we have to give patients some resistance. I cannot do it for the patient. The patient has to put a mechanical force that will help to evaluate. Fascia has to work. It has to send electrical impulses, it has to leak nutrients in order to produce the motion. And then we can evaluate. So I give a certain amount of pressure. Also, in every case, it's difficult. It's different. Some people are very strong. You have to put a lot of. So you have to challenge the muscles. For every muscle, different. Some muscles are very strong. Some people are very strong. They are very weak. You see that the patient can't hardly move. They have to reduce the amount of challenge. If the patient is very easy to move my hand, I have to increase my challenge effort. So this is right now. You see the video. Play the video again. I tell the patient to run all the muscle up. Then again, I give some resistance, lifting up. This is the muscle we're testing right now. It's called rectus femoralis. My finger is pointing up right now where the muscle mechanical force is starting. Remember, I give you the example. My biceps moving up like this. In the rectus femoralis, the boss of the upper area, very common we treat this muscle for many treatments, for many cases. For the shoulder, for the neck, for many cases we treat these muscles. This rectus femoralis. Starting in this area, and I will show you with my finger, play the video again. So it's moving from there all the way up until there. So now you see, this is the last mechanical force when my leg is high. When the leg is at the beginning, is there. This is helping us because sometimes the radiation of pain, remember radiation of pain is only indicate weakness in this muscle, not where the pain goes. It's a weakness in the muscle. There are 4 ways to indicate weakness. So sometimes I'm asking my patient here, have my patient lift him. And then here is okay. When it's already high, like in the picture, then is when I see the maximum weakness or the maximum radiation of pain. Very common, there's the rectus femoralis radiated pain in the lumbar area. They complain about pain here, pain here. Okay, forget about there. We're going to put the needle on the treatment in there in the muscle we are treating. Rectus femoralis in this case. Lifting it like this, and then sometimes it's at the beginning. I can hardly move. Let me help you. I do this for the patient. I put my hand here. Now resistance, lifting. So from this it's okay. It's at the starting point. Then it will indicate the problem is not. It's closer to the hips. So now I can use my finger to explore, exploring with my finger, searching for the weak spot. Then I think this is a little bit floppy. It's going down. It's hollow. Then I get my needle and I put my needle in there. Remember again, moving the needle up and down, changing the angle until I get a twist response. If the twist response is not there, I take my needle out and search for another spot until I get this one. Let me get you more example of this muscle test. This is rectus femoralis. So you got to learn the whole muscle test by heart. It's not so difficult. When you learn everything, you can do it even 3 minutes. Remember, don't be lazy. Laziness will destroy your clinic. So to take your time, don't be so clever, because sometimes it's very common that we make mistakes. Now I'm checking out here what we call the vastus. vastus group. All this area, I'm pointing with my hand. Vastus. Vastus, we have three vastus. Mediales, laterales, intermediales. Three vastus. All of them minimizing all the muscles. They do kicking. So we put the leg like this to minimize all the forces. And now this is when we ask the patient, can you kick for me? See how he's kicking? This is kicking all the vastus. The three of them are working at the same time. The force, I'm pointing with my finger, starting the force before kicking near the hips, and it's moving up all the way to the knee. So the knee problem will be nearby, or back problem, not so much the hips, but the back problem, lumbar area. Everybody complains the lumbar area, maybe vastus weakness closer at the starting point. We do get like this on the leg. So again, I do this toy. So we tell starting kicking. If the starting of kicking radiate the pain here, the maximum pain, or even in my knee, wherever, I have to consider some point very high here, no? And that will relieve the pain usually in the back, not so much in the hips. No? I told you the seam of every muscle, the seam, the penalty, the mistake of every muscle. The solio, it was the shoes. And in this case, is living in a flatness. Many people, in my house is flat. When I go to elevator, it's flat. In my parking place, flat, everything flat. It is a balancing muscle. It has to balance. So the lack of activity, the lack of action, it makes everybody weak. You know, so it needs to balance him. So flatness is making this rectus femoralis very flat, very weak, rectus femoralis. And if we talk about the kicking, vastus femoralis, it does work a lot every time I walk. Lack of walking, lack of laziness. Anyway, the time is getting short. I'll show you a few more mechanical actions. See it? This is the kicking. Now we can differentiate also. I'll do it rotation. If I rotate like this, vastus medialis, you can see very clearly, very nice in the video. Then I want to differentiate, asking the patient for kicking. Remember, if it's weakness, if it's shaking, using helpers, now rotation. Now this is vastus lateralis. This is pointing to the muscle, vastus lateralis. In the video, we'll even draw, in the course, and there's kicking like this. Sometimes the vastus alone, no pain, but when you rotate like this, vastus lateralis, now the pain is starting usually in the other one, in the lumbar. Yeah, quickly, I'd allow the video to run. This is psoas. I tell the patient, psoas is lifting the legs. It is my abdominal, but it's a very powerful muscle and it's for lifting. So it's around there, you have the patient lifting. Again, when the pain radiates, doesn't matter. They will not have pain in the psoas. They will radiate pain usually in the lumbar area. Some of them, they complain of the knee. I'll give you also in the course the knee protocol, because knee and lumbar area, usually in this part, we will talk in the course also about the whole body. But in the lower area, the legs usually radiate in the knee or radiates in the lumbar area. This is, I'm showing you adapters. We have 4 adapters. Adaptation is closing your legs. So adaptus magnus, brevis, peteneus, longus, 4 different adapters. This is also in the video adaptation. So sometimes I give you 2 or different mechanical exercises to test the same muscle. Depends on many of the things. Gracilis is another adapter, as you can see in the video, gracilis. You have to put aligns both legs together, so it's adaptation too, but only from this one to the adaptation. This is very common, knee pain, sometimes only one single muscle, knee pain in the internal side of the body. Internal side of the body, a specific location of the knee. In the course also, I'm pointing everything very clear. How you see the knee in this area, usually pain, not in the whole knee. And usually this is gracilis, the one that you checking the note. In the video, you see sartorius, which is another one. Both of them are coming. Another one, show you very quickly right now in the video. This is piriformix. Of course, in the course, I will go more slowly and pay attention in every muscle one by one. But now just a demonstration for you to see. And this is piriformix, the mechanical action like this. Piriformix is another garbage collector. We will have all this recorded for you. So I'm speaking too fast, but you will have it there later. To collecting garbage in the hip area. Also sometimes in my legs. Solio is a collected garbage collector, and piriformix. Every time you touch a garbage collector, everybody love it. Oh, so nice, so pleasant. Saint Solio, Saint piriformix. So that's it. That is the demonstration. I have much more videos, but no time for this. Therefore, I should understand we have to work with the legs in order to help the whole body, starting point. Don't be lazy. Mechanical test from down up and starting to treat. If I see, for example, that restus femoralis, I showed you the video before, is the one weakness, put the needle there, 3 to each response, and then evaluate again the whole system. So this is why when we find something, don't continue to do the whole evaluation, otherwise you will have to repeat it later. So when, okay, this is very significant weakness, let me do it, then I continue, and then again another very significant weakness, then I put the needle. Sometimes you will find patients with everything weakness, the whole right side, for example. Then you have to start with, I give you also in the course, the bosses of every area. So when everything is weak, for example, a muscle in the hamstrings, this is one of the biggest bosses in my legs. This is biceps femoralis. So if everybody's weak, treat the boss. Makes sense, right? Treat the government. Then I treat biceps femoralis and check out again. If I treat one of the workers, nothing much will give me, no much results. And I have to just puncture many, the patient will get crazy with everything. So when everything is weak or difficult, so many pain here, pain there, everywhere, pick up the bosses in every area, right? So I don't know if you're sending me questions. Now I can't reply to any of you. Do you want to put it there? Even though we have to switch off the video, but if you get questions, I will tend to reply after. So feel free to send me any questions. Remember, in the camera, remember you want to continue with more information. This one? Stop. I just stop it here. Now you can see me, right? Yes. And then I want to share with you. If you want to continue for more information, this is quite extent, But we'll have this course. I will send it to you. Now let me show this one. And so give me some time. This one. No, this. Is it coming now? I think so. Yes. So you want to continue for more? This course is 6 weeks. So we have 12 lectures and 12 practical lectures too. 12. We'll give you an exam because in this course is online. I told you at the beginning that we are, thanks to the pandemic, we are so I will give you a certificate, fully registered and fully everything, even everything is online. You really have to, you want to complete the whole course, you have to prove also that you know by recording yourself and sending us to us. This is how we do now courses. So you can do it everything in your home, but you have to do it with exams. And in every course that we send you, it's a small exam, not so difficult, but of course you have to put an effort. And then also recording the videos for demonstration. You do the clinical practice, I'll show you the clinical practice, and you send them back for me with your demonstration in your house.
In case you want to complete your education and become an expert on myofascia pain treatment, so you can apply in your practice, we have a full course online with a final certification. Quickly, you will get 12 lectures, 12 practical works, and my full participation. You can ask me questions, and at the end, with an exam, you will get the full certificate, send it to you. So feel free to contact us in the link below for the free spots and the days.